fall out. We're human. Nothing's perfect.
Personalities clash, egos collide, different people want different things after a certain while. I agree, man. It is very hard to find that balance between knowing you need a team of people and having people to support you towards a goal, but also making sure that you can click with those people and that you actually want the same things, because we've seen it even on like a bigger professional level. Like, how many bands have fallen out? How many rap groups have fallen out? How many dance groups have fallen out? Damn near all of them, right? There's very few, if any, that started out maybe like in the 90s or whatever and are still going strong today. Yeah, you need people, but I'd say for somebody who's like out in front of the camera, like dancing, singing, your team would probably more consist of more behind the scenes people that want to push your image forward instead of trying to like hog or share the spotlight.
I mean, that's the reason for a lot of the falling outs of groups, because it starts out as a team. Once you get to a certain level, I feel like my contribution to the team is bigger than your contribution. Yeah. Once you start thinking about it like that, that's when every team starts heading downhill. And I feel like a lot of it is just like unspoken animosity. A lot of people just let shit slide.
It'll fester.
You feel me? Like, you ignore some shit. And welcome back to the 2 Coin Podcast. It's your boy Ronnie.
I'm your brother Waleed, the other side of the coin. Today's episode is brought to you by the beautiful city of San Jose, California, because this is where creatives come together. The man to my right is an artist, dancer, singer, goes by the name of Emp3ror, and he joins us here on the 2 Coin Podcast. Before we get into it, though, explain what your name means.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Emp3ror, you know, I was just at a performance at a city a couple of weeks ago, and the MC after told me, they were like, yeah, you know, the name Emp3ror, like that holds like some weight. So you got to make sure that you stand powerful and you stand firm with that name. What that person didn't understand, that the reason why I made that name was the very opposite. As a kid, you know, there was a lot of things that happened to me in my life, and a lot of stuff that, you know, fucked up my head and created self-doubt and procrastination. It was kind of like I tried to figure out who I was every day. It's kind of like I was trying to like conquer myself every day, because this thing doesn't happen overnight. I'm not just going to become a confident person overnight. So it's kind of like I had to create an affirmation with one word. So the name Emp3ror just reminds me every day to conquer myself. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be an emperor of self. So this is something that's a constant battle.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah.
That's fire. Because, yeah, it's a mental state, man. I try to remind the word conquer is huge, because I try to tell myself every day, just conquer the day, conquer the day, conquer the day. And that's the same thing as conquering yourself. So, yeah, if you can overcome your vices, overcome your limitations to an extent, and bring the best version of yourself, those are the type of people that we want on this podcast. Right off the bat, like, you make music, and from listening to your music, it seems like it does have a big West Coast influence. Not to delve too much, but how has this region impacted your sound, if at all?
This region, it impacted a lot, especially because a lot of my family members did music when I was young, and they were the ones that I looked up to.
Okay.
And yeah, I would say that. And also, you know, a lot of the legends here in the Bay Area, as far as E40, Too Short. I don't know if people remember the ROD. Who made that song, I Can't Stand You.
I know that song. Yeah.
So, like, you know, singers like him in the Bay Area, where you can hear the influence of the region. Like, that was one of my motivations of, you know, my idea of what I wanted my sound to be.
So, I guess what got you into making music, like, from an early age?
I would say my mother, my brother. My mother, she used to freestyle a lot. She used to go by Spice. My brother used to sing, but he didn't really sing a lot like that. But I would say both of them, and the main person was my cousin Jaws. He used to be an underground rapper in San Jose.
Okay.
And yeah, he used to make music on Fruity Loops in my grandma's house with me. And I just used
Real
to
ones
just
know
chill
about
there.
the Fruity Loops, you know
Man,
what I mean?
man.
Crack version.
Shout out FL. And yeah, so I would say, yeah, my family.
Hey, it's crazy. You said that, because I remember, like, you had told me that you was into dancing. And you
Yes,
know what
sir.
I mean? So you a dancer before everything?
That's a good question. I would say both of them kind of was intertwined with my life in an early age, because my father was a dancer, but I didn't know who he was, so the motivation of wanting to be a dancer was always there. Yeah, I would say when I was younger, I never really like it was just a lot of inspiration, a lot of
Yeah.
inspiration, but a lot of self-doubt. So I never really jumped into music or dancing when I was young. It was always just there.
I feel that. You just didn't like feel like you could lean into it, or you just chose not to.
I would say it was more just self-doubt. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like,
Like you felt you wasn't good enough.
yeah.
Ooh. Can you open that real quick?
What this might be a personal question, so you don't have to answer it all the way if
Good
you don't
looks,
feel
bro.
like it, but what eventually helped you overcome that self-doubt and just go full throttle at what you're doing right now?
Um, good question. I would say, thank you very much. Shout out Links. I would say time,
Time.
honestly. Like, cause honestly, I still have those self doubts. You know what I'm saying? I still have those times where I, procrastinate. But time waits for nobody.
Yeah.
And as time keeps going, it just tells me, it just it's kind of like a question that just keeps stitching into my mind. Like, do you want to do this or not?
Yeah. It's we talked about this before too on a previous podcast, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know what age you get to, but you get to a certain age where you mature and you realize the sun is going to shine every day no matter what I do, right? So I can either sit around and pretend that I'm doing something when I know I'm really not, or wish for something to happen, or do what I need to do and take action every day to make what I'm thinking about doing a reality. So
Yeah.
we always talk about like the earlier you could do that, the better.
Yeah.
But have you seen it like culminating? You've seen like actual evidence of that daily grind kind of coming to fruition, like day by day?
Definitely. And I want to go back to what you said as far as like earlier, the better.
Yeah.
That's like one of the things that really gets me as well. You know, just regretting that I didn't like start a lot of this shit like at an earlier age, at an earlier time. But everything happens for a reason. But yeah, that definitely like highlights one of the reasons why I try to do what I do now.
Yeah, I have that thought a lot too.
But
Especially,
you know what the crazy, my bad, I didn't cut you off. The thing about that though is just like that state that you're in now, because you started late and this journey that you on is allowing you to even take a chance the way you are right now. Because had you started like, you know what I mean, as cliche as that sound, had you started earlier, you'd be a whole different person in general.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So now it's one of those, do you regret who you are?
yeah,
And that comes with everything in life of where you are right now. Like, you regret everything going on that you'd give it all up.
yeah, and I always think about it too. Like, if I would have started anything that I was like working towards accomplishing earlier than when I started it, I wouldn't have been in the mental frame of mind to actually be effective at it, right? Like, I didn't even get to a place in my life or my mind where I'm like, time is running out. So in other words, I was too immature to actually try to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So you learn and grow, and then you kind of attack your goals from there.
But then that goes back to, like, you know what I mean, working every day. Like, you know what I mean, probably in your case, like recording a song every day, writing every day, you know what I mean, making a beat every day, editing every day. You're not going to see shit from it that day. You might not see shit from it that week. You might not see shit from it that year. But it's just like, if this is what you want to do, if this is that creative pursuit that you're really trying to get to, it's just like, you got to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, what are you going to do without that time? You know what I mean? Is what you going to do without that time better? Like, you just going to kill it?
Exactly. So you either get to where you're going or you just stop going, period.
Yeah.
Right. But going back to your background, so is there, we talk about singing and rapping and dancing, right? Is there, out of those three mediums, is there one that you're better than the rest of them at? And then is there one that you're not as good at that you had to like, feel like you had to like learn or
Put more effort
get better
into.
at?
Right. I feel like, let me see. I would say singing.
Okay.
Yeah, because music and dance always comes in waves. I have seasons where I'm better in dancing, seasons when I'm better in music, regarding singing and rapping. But yeah, I would say singing is probably like the weakest. Yeah.
Okay. So is singing something that you started off like as a kid? Because we hear a lot of people who are singers, right? Shout out to the homie Alex too, when we had him on the pod.
Yes,
He mentioned
sir.
that he was
So done.
he started by singing like in the church, right? And like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who sing where that was kind of their start. Is that the same thing for you, or is it completely different?
Yeah, so I used to sing in the Baptist church as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be in the crowds talking about shake, 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 stomp the devil. Shout out to the niggas that heard that one.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Is that you say that's like a good foundation for any singer to have? You got to start early, right?
Yeah, I feel like it is because just trains your vocal cords at an earlier age, and puts you into that realm where it gives you the choice to explore it and figure out if this is what you want to build with. Because there's a lot of dope singers who've like developed their voice and their lives off of church. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, man. Is there a creative process that you follow when you're like making music?
Um, good question. There is, I would say. I would say when I was younger, everything just used to come natural. I would just move based off my emotions. Sometimes, there would be certain things that happen in life, and then right then and there, I just tell myself, and I still do it today, but I would just tell myself like, "Yo, just go inside the room and just write, just write, just create." Now, I would say that I do have a certain like a blueprint that I make to create my songs. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, honestly, it's funny that you say create a blueprint because, like, I was just talking about this on the other podcast about having like a creative template that you can transfer from skill to skill. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like a lot of like the process that I did when I was making music, like you know what I mean, at least with beat making stuff like that, recording, it all transfers to podcasting, and you know what I mean, transfers into filmmaking, transfers like all these interchangeable. You've been doing it for long enough that you end up, you know what I mean, create a plug and play. You know how to like cut off all that back end work that would have taken a long time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as what it takes to get you to start writing, how to start this beat off, how to, you know what I mean? Instead of spending all the time on the beginning, you know how to like, you're already in the thick of things at the earlier stage of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we were, and that's crazy because we were talking about that too. Just knowing that some of the talents that you get from just other things that you can put it into place with the shit that you do now, and
Yeah.
I feel like you're a perfect example of that too. So yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Is there anything like difficult about, because at least from the work that I've seen on your Instagram page, it seems like a lot of times you're blending singing, rapping, and dancing together, right? Is there any challenges that come with that? Is there like a difficult part of executing on all three like at the same time?
Um, the first thing I would say is image, because I know that, well, in my perception, a lot of music artists don't get taken seriously. If you have something like dancing, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen a couple of artists that weren't taken seriously just because they were dancing, and some artists they use that, you know what I'm saying, and it ends up helping them get to where they need to go as far as like people like Chris Brown and et cetera. But with me, I would say it wasn't really difficult at first because everything was just coming natural. But just me becoming focused, trying to be more focused now and trying to figure out what I really want to do. I started wanting to separate certain things as far as dancing and music because I wanted to kind of like move things around as far as dance used to just be the dominant thing in my life, but now I want it to be music. And one of the things that is messing me up is that a lot of people know me by my dance name.
Yeah.
So for example, last weekend I was performing in Frisco, and right before they called me, the MC was like Bullethead. And I'm like, that's my dance name. You know what I'm saying? That's not my artist name.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that. So outside myself, I would say I'm getting more complications.
Hey man, but that
along
just lets you know that like you made a name for yourself in the dance world. That
Right,
enough
yeah.
people know you as that to where it's like, oh, you rapping now? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't even get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
You feel me? Like, so that's a good end to having that type of situation.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though. You mentioned when you blend music and dance, right? You don't get taken as seriously in like either field, right? Because you do both. But you just mentioned the fact that you have you have a different identity for the dancing and then a different identity for the music. For the music, it's Emp3ror, right? And then for the dancing, it was, you said, Bullethead. You ever thought about separating those two into like alter egos just for the sole purpose
question.
of like being taken more seriously in each individual medium?
Right. So yeah, to be honest with you, I was thinking about that. Honestly, I might just go that route because I kind of don't want to I don't want to throw away all things that are connected to Bullethead. Like there's people, there's communities, there's things bigger than me in the name that are connected. And I feel like that would be a little selfish of me because honestly, just for me, how can I say, I'm almost ready to just drop the name.
Yeah.
I'm almost ready to drop Bullethead.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to go full-fledged into music, but, you know, there's also people that fuck with Bullethead. You know what I'm saying? There's people that were inspired by Bullethead. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, honestly.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty because a lot of people, like, when asked something like that, they'll just try to act like they got it all figured out.
Yeah.
So when it's like, I'm still figuring it out myself, I appreciate that honesty, bro.
Yeah.
That's real, bro. How old are you?
I'm 33.
See, and that's real, bro. Like, a lot of people act like they got it figured out, you know what I mean, at different points of their life, 28, 29, 30, 40. And it's like, we just figuring it out as we go, man.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, whenever you get it, you going to get it. But as long as you get it, like, straight up. But now you was talking about, like, inspirations, bro. Like, how's this city inspired you? Because you know what I mean, 33 years in San Jose. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. The city inspired me a lot, bro. As far as the environment, as far as my family, a lot of my family are down here. As far as my peoples that I grew up with, yeah, it honestly.
Your family are
inspired
like
me a lot.
originally from out here?
I would say some of my generations that are like 1 or 2 generations before me.
Okay.
A lot of my, you know, older generation, my grandma, my grandpa, they were like from Arkansas,
Oh,
areas
damn,
like
okay.
that. Yeah, but then they later moved down here.
Damn, okay. I feel like a lot of people in the Bay Area or in California in general, you out of town.
Transplants.
You know what I mean? You coming from 1 or 2 ways, the South or Chicago
Exactly.
or East Coast.
Have you been like enmeshed with like the creative community in San Jose, and what kind of connections have you formed that you think have helped you kind of propel your career?
As far as dancing, I would say there are a couple of dance studios that I became connected to that helped me a lot. Some dance mentors. There was some mentors that people I consider mentors that are dancers here as well that I connected with. As far as music, so like I was kind of telling you prior, I came back into music 2023 October, and then I just started writing and I started putting music out in April. I've been contacted by a lot of people, but I haven't personally really like intertwined with people because you know, I'm just trying to, you know, fill out their energy, trying to fill out who they are. A lot of people are kind of like, you know, showing me the same things, and I know that the outcome will be different. So I'd rather just, you know, try to see what's going on. But yeah, I would say like right now I'm kind of like, you know, in my own wave, in my own thing, and I feel like that's a blessing and a curse because I have family that are connected to the music industry, and they always tell me like you can't do this by yourself. You need a team, and I definitely agree with that. I definitely do. But you know, for me, the question is what team, because I've been in past situations, and I'm sorry if I'm kind of, you know, rambling, but I have been in past situations where like, you know, teams just fall out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're human. Nothing's perfect.
That's a good point, man. Personalities clash, egos collide, different people want different things after a certain while. So I agree, man. It is very hard to find that balance between knowing you need a team of people or like a community and having people to support you towards a goal, but also making sure that you can click with those people and that you actually want the same things, because we've seen it even on like a bigger professional level, like in Hollywood or like the rap music type of thing. How many bands have fallen out? How many rap groups have fallen out? How many dance groups have fallen out? Damn near all of them, right? There's very few that are like, if any, that started out maybe like in the 90s or whatever and are still going strong today. You know? So, yeah, you need people, but I'd say, I mean, and this is advice from somebody who doesn't know shit about shit, but I would say for somebody who's like out in front like you, in front of the camera, like dancing, singing, your team would probably more consist of more background people, you know, that like more behind the scenes people that want to push your image forward instead of trying to like hog or share the spotlight with you, if that makes sense.
Right.
I mean, that's the reason for a lot of the falling outs of groups or whatnot, because it starts out as a team, but then it's like, I feel like once you get to a certain level, you know, it's okay. Well, I feel like my contribution to the team is bigger than your contribution to the team.
Yeah.
And once you start thinking about it like that, that's when every team starts heading downhill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I feel like a lot of it's just like unspoken animosity. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's the other thing. A lot of people just let shit slide. Don't you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or like I'm just not even gonna deal with this, and then not dealing with it's going like I mean in every aspect of life.
It'll fester.
You feel me? Like
Yeah.
you ignore some shit, it's gonna brew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know, man. Like, do you think that it's a high priority for you right now to get a team together, or is that something you haven't thought about yet, or you don't even know the answer to that question?
I feel like in the future, possibly not
Mhm.
right now. I'm still trying to develop my sound. I'm still trying to develop my background as far as like, just my work, the
Mhm.
time that I put in to creating new music.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get that straight first because, I just don't want to try to, come up to a team with a bag of stuff
Yeah.
that's mine and not theirs. I
I
want to
feel
make
it.
sure like a job that I make sure that as a coworker that I'm doing everything I need to do to make sure all the gears are in place. So I would say like definitely in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. You gotta build the foundation alone first
Yeah.
before you get
Agreed.
a team around.
Work on yourself and your team gonna come naturally.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Like facts.
Give them something that they see as
As,
tangible.
as far as output that you currently have, what is there like a performance or like a project musically that you've done that you're most proud of to date?
Performance overall, you're saying?
Either like a performance at a venue or just a project, like a music project that you've put out, like a body of work that you're most proud of.
I would say the most recent one, Never Lose Me,
Mhm.
which I put out in April because that was the first time that I actually like put out a whole mixtape. Prior, I would just put out music, a song just for fun.
Mhm.
But this was like the first time I've ever had like a macro idea that involves micro shit.
Okay.
So, I was thinking about the whole process of the mixtape and what the name would be called, what would be the energy, etc., which could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say this mixtape. As far as dance, I would say just every time I traveled out of San Jose, honestly, because as growing up, as far as dancing, I used to wish and dream that I lived in LA because that's where Crump was at. Crump was like my favorite dance when I was young.
Yeah.
And I used to dream that I lived there. But growing up, I was glad I didn't because I see a lot of people's mindsets and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I would say just the simple fact that dancing put money in my pocket and it helped me travel out of state.
Is there a city that you've been to that you say has the best dance scene, or is that answer LA?
And if it is, like, what are other like top 3?
I would say the Bay Area, LA, and what else down here? Yeah. Honestly, for me, I would just say Bay Area and LA.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say Bay Area is because we have like a collage of styles down here. Like
Mhm.
you'll see crump, you'll see turf, you'll see popping, you'll see breakdancing, etc.
Yeah.
LA, you'll see a lot of shit as well. But since I'm from the Bay, I'm just more confident speaking about the Bay more.
Mhm.
But so for me, it would be the Bay Area. LA though, I would say, that's like the go-to. Everybody that's not, from here, people overseas, they're gonna want to slide here or slide to LA. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, it's the New York or the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Or
To
New York.
foreigners.
Yeah, New York as well.
You feel me? Like the 2 staples on either coast of this country.
Yeah.
Foreigners want to come and try to make it out here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd say LA is one of like the creative hubs of like the world, one of the creative capitals of the world, for sure.
Yeah.
Facts.
So anytime you talk music or like acting too, and like dancing, everybody always says LA.
But it's crazy because a lot of people down there are just saying like it's such a toxic culture, energetically,
Right.
and, like socially. The dynamics is I don't think I could last. Just as far as like how fraud people are,
Man.
and I'm not hating on people out there. It's just like the mindset you go down there to have because everybody got their own agenda of making it out there.
Yeah.
Right.
At least that's from what I've heard. I've never lived out there personally, so
Yeah.
my
No, I
bad,
feel
LA.
Nah, shout out LA, man. But yeah, man, people could be Hollywood.
And the people, the homies that I know that are from LA, shout out to all y'all. They'll be the first to tell you that.
100%.
Right.
They'll be the first to tell you that, like the toxic culture out there, why they moved from LA, what they don't like about LA. It's because the vibe and like, I don't know. I never felt it personally, so it's all anecdotal from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll be the first to tell you that.
I feel like you can't really feel something like that to its deepest, like until you actually live there. Pause. But until you actually live there, you know what I mean? But yeah, man.
No, I kind of want to go like just say something right quick because yeah, it's like I was saying, like I used to dream about it, right? But then like, you know, when I first came there, it was dope. But then I started noticing, you know, right when people get to know who you are, it's like unseen politics, you know what I'm saying, that you kind of just dive into. And then it's kind of like, it's like they put you in it before they even know who you are, and then it just becomes super toxic. So I definitely feel you on that. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Where else you been at? You said it took you out of state dancing?
Yeah, so not a lot of places, honestly. I was Midwest. That was the first time I've ever been to Midwest was dancing.
Oh, damn.
No, I was in
dance camp?
Nah, it was a battle.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I was invited to battle down there. Somebody from
He
Midwest.
said, don't call my shit a camp.
Bro said dance camp. That's hella funny.
What city?
Where I think it was Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dance camp in
Kansas, Missouri. Yeah.
Kansas City, okay.
Oh, Kansas. Yeah.
KC Mo.
Yes,
That's
sir.
hella funny.
Yeah, it was dope out there too.
For real?
Yeah, I definitely fucked with it. I'm not gonna
How
cap.
old were you?
I'm sorry?
No, how old were you when you went out
Oh, damn, when did this happen, Jay? I think this was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Last year? Are you sure? 2024, I was in Midwest? That's crazy. Okay, last year.
Damn.
Or 2023, sorry. Yeah.
But nah, I mean, honestly, bro, speaking of time, it's crazy because, like, this shit do be flying. I be forgetting, like, shout out to Cosmic Roots, bro. They dropped their album in February this year.
Oh, shit.
And that was, like, my first, like, little photo, like, video shoot and all that shit that I did. You know what I mean? That kind of, like, jump-started a lot of shit. But I just be looking back like, yo, that was only, like, 10 months ago.
Yeah, it's almost February 2025 now.
Man.
You feel me?
Man.
So it's funny you talk about, yo, that was last year, 2024. I'm like, I feel you, bro.
Yeah,
like, 2024 feels like it was last year.
If you could collaborate with any artist right now, who would it be?
Any artist? Good question. Who would it be? Let me think. I'm gonna have
Just
to
take
think
your
on
pick.
that.
They walk through the front door right now. Say, hey, let's work.
That's a good question. I was not ready for that.
You gotta say me.
Nah, I mean, shit, I probably wouldn't even do a song with me right now. I ain't even gonna cap to you because I know the process. I'll be like, hey, yo, Emp3ror, just letting you know 3 months prior, I want to do a song with you. Nah, but I would say E40.
Okay.
E40 is one of them because you know, he's a OG in this shit. Somebody I looked up to, still look up to. Yeah, there's a lot of artists though. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I would just say E40 for right now.
Is he your biggest influence? Is there or like you could just talk about who like are the artists that you kind of like you look up to past and currently, but is E40 one of them?
E40 is definitely one of them, bro. Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy too. Like, it's the little things. Like when I was young, when I used to watch E40's music videos, I used to always think to myself, like, man, he reminds me of my auntie. Like, he literally looked like her, like, for real, glasses and all.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's just what got me.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I'm not gonna cap. Yeah, it
feel
was
like
just
family?
random.
That's what's up, bro.
Not even the uncle, the auntie. That's crazy.
Yeah, right? Right.
He's the
Auntie
whole.
40.
Actually, thinking about that now, yeah, it's pretty funny, but yeah.
He's like the whole Bay Area's uncle, bro. I always felt like E40 was my uncle.
Yeah.
Nah, real shit, bro. When I met him for the first time, he was
you met
cool
him?
as fuck. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
yeah. It was another. Actually, it was a music video for Pilo, E40 and Be Legit, and they invited dancers, and I was one of them. And
See, you can't drop bullet head, man.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
can't
you
move
right,
on.
you right, bro. No, you right. But like, yeah, like out of all the artists, he was the only one to chop it up with me. He was the one who he was like, yeah, you want a picture? Like, come here, whoop. And the thing about it though, what that was crazy to me was that like hella people was like in this nigga's mix. You know what I'm saying? Like he was busy, and he was just like, oh, what's good with you? You know what I'm saying? So
That's cool as fuck.
yeah.
That's cool as fuck. That's the type of energy you want around. Now I see why you answer that question like that.
Yeah.
Because that's good energy, bro. We were talking about this on the last pod. It's like if you make time for people, if you acknowledge people, like
That shit goes
that energy,
a long way.
like, yeah, it can be sensed, bro.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like somebody of importance. So shout out to E40, man.
Shout out to E40,
Yeah,
man.
shout out E4.
Man. So when you not working, you know what I mean? Because on music 24/7 or however long you do, like what else? Like what other passions you got? What other hobbies you got?
Shit.
Or you like Kobe with the shit? I don't know
Honestly,
what you talk about, man. I sleep music.
I used to be like Kobe with this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with this shit. Dancing, I would say.
yeah.
Because, again, I wasn't doing music for a while. I used to wake up, dance, go to work, get off work, dance, go to sleep, wake up at 4 in the morning, like, damn, why am I up? Dance. Like, that shit used to be my life.
Wake up, dance.
Yeah,
pass
for real,
out,
bro.
Dance.
Faded.
Dance.
Dance. Most definitely faded, though. Nah, but yeah, bro. I would say, to be honest, those were my hobbies, bro. As far as like outside life, as far as like, you know, work and shit like that.
Yeah, because when your hobby is what you're pursuing, the fuck is the point of doing anything else, bro?
Yeah.
Man, for
That's
real.
how you become great.
Yeah.
But I guess a more specific question than that would be like, outside of your pursuits, how do you like kind of refocus and recharge your creative juices when you're not doing anything creative?
I would say going to the gym's one of them. Meditation.
Write this down, folks. He's giving y'all game.
You feel me? Meditation. Meditation is one of the biggest things for me because for some reason, after meditating, when it's done right, I just have like a clear. I just have a clear head. It's kind of like euphoric and just a lot of shit. Just I don't know. It's kind of like it's like I'm just getting in tune with a lot of frequencies that's like outside of, you know, the social norm type shit, to be honest with you. And I just start just thinking about shit just differently and just
More clarity.
I don't know. Yeah. So I would say that's like one of the main things. Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because that practice has changed my life too. But it's good that you mentioned when it's done right, because doing it right is harder than actually just sitting down and
Man.
because you could just end up sitting there and just be thinking for 10 minutes and you just defeats the purpose. Like you're supposed to be sitting there away from your thoughts. And I find myself or catch myself after I actually do it, I'm just like, damn, I don't feel nothing because that means I didn't do it right. You know what I mean? And that happens more often than you would think. Veering off, this is way off the rails here, but does that still happen to you, or did you get to a point where you just kind of trained your mind not to do that?
Nah, it's an ongoing battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daily battle, bro.
Yeah.
Daily struggle. So I'm glad I'm not alone in that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not begun the practice of meditation
Highly recommend.
at all.
Yeah, you should, man.
Download the either it was Headspace or the Calm app.
I've tried to do it. I'm talking about just like the physically sitting there and like I just haven't gotten to a point of just shutting my mind off right now. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. I don't know how to explain it because I spend a lot of time alone, and I just got a lot like kind of going back to what you know what I mean, what you had mentioned with Don. Like my mind is just rapid fire all the time, and I haven't figured out how to turn that part down to sit down and just, you know what I mean?
Or maybe you haven't found a need for it to be shut off. Because what got me into meditation is because like when my mind would be flooded with thoughts, it would get to a point of like discomfort where it's like, okay, I got to find some relief outside of it. But if that's the case for you, where it's just like you don't feel a need to turn that part of you off, then by all means, you know what I mean? You probably don't need to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody's different. But tell the people, I guess, what projects or what you're currently working on, and what to watch out for, if you feel comfortable sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. So I am working on a new project right now called Tank City's Finest. I definitely want to make that known in the Bay Area. The last mixtape I put out was, you know, it was just an introduction. And this one I kind of want to just put a little bit more of, how how can I say, put more of my personality into my music, but also still having, I would say, the fragrance of like my environment. You know what I'm saying? So you'll still hear the West Coast.
Okay.
You'll still hear the Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But a little more introspection or just like personality.
Just a little more to where when they hear it, they're like, okay, this is Emp3ror right here. You know.
Okay.
So, kind of helps me. It helps them pull my needle out the haystack more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of artists. Like I feel like there's a lot of like creatives now, and that's a good thing. But,
Yeah.
you know, it just becomes a sea
Yeah.
to me. It becomes an ocean, and I just want to figure out, you know, how can I, you know,
Stand out.
yeah, how can I stand out?
Yeah, that makes sense, bro. Because like a lot of it is becoming oversaturated. But that's a good point that you mentioned. There's a lot of creatives. You seem like, from talking to you, like you're very calm and like grounded in like who you are as like an artist, and that probably comes with experience and wisdom, right? So a lot of the oversaturation right now is being taken by a lot of like younger, newer generation artists. What advice would you give to them, people that are starting out with a lot of time on their hands to still, you know, get to a bigger level while they're still young?
Right. I would say, you know, it's good to be inspired. It's good to be in tune with the artists around you and become motivated, but just don't get lost in their sauce. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get lost within their frequency, because we're all here for a reason. You feel me? And I'm probably going to get hella deep in it, but I would say, you know, us like as humans, like as an organism, like it's easy for you to be the next person. It's very easy, especially when someone mapped out something for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, me and my girl, we talked about this plenty of times. You know, before Lil Uzi Vert was famous, I bet you there was like 20, 50 people around him that sounded like him just because they heard him first. You know what I'm saying? But he kept going, and he kept mastering his style. And a lot of those people around him probably got famous because he mapped out that, he made a map for them. Don't become that person that's waiting for that map. Try to create your own.
Okay.
Bars.
That's a bar
That's
right
a
there.
bar
Yeah.
right
That's a
there.
bar. Like just set yourself apart and just be you regardless.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
'cause-
still be in tune.
and
But still be in tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself in this shit.
Yes, sir.
I think especially with music, man, individuality is the biggest thing. Like, you got to be able to, like you said, stand out and like, cause yeah, man, it's a sea of people that are just like, a lot of people sound the same, a lot of people look the same, a lot of people are saying the same shit.
Yeah.
So you standing out, no matter, like at that point, the quality don't matter. If people can connect with your personality and your vibe,
Yeah.
I think that matters more than like your output.
I mean, you know, it's crazy because nowadays that's what it takes to stand out. Because that's the one factor you can't buy. Is,
Can't be faked.
you know what I mean? Is actual people fucking with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can buy friendships or whatever, but you can't fuck with their essence fucking with your essence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like you build an organic community that way, like you're bound to succeed. That's like the only way to succeed in this creative generation too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You got to be true to it, stay organic, all that.
I agree. And I'm not saying that I'm not perfect. I do want to say that, of course, you can hear me and you'll hear shit that's very similar. But, you know, like I said, I'm still figuring it out. Still trying to figure it out.
Fact, man.
Absolutely. What's one lesson you've learned that you wish you would have learned earlier in your career, or just in life in general?
Good question. It's a couple of ones. I would say validation is good, but don't seek for it, because then, you know, everyone's approval is going to be like, you're going to look for everyone's approval before you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Self-love is very important. Try to find the definition of self-love. I didn't know what self-love was when I was young. I just thought, oh, okay, you're just supposed to, you know, just feel like you're the shit, feel like you're confident.
Yeah.
But it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to love, like, understand that you're not perfect, so there's good and bad in you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to learn to love yourself, because no one can't do that for you. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, that will help you love others. But I would say, yeah, you know, validation is good, but just don't seek for it. Love yourself and spend time with yourself in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to do, whether it's music, basketball, whether you're fucking a mechanic, you know, study things around that realm, and, you know, just try to be your best self with it. Yeah. Kind of want to expound on that a little bit. When I was young, at bringing up teams as well,
Mm-hmm.
I was always like wanting to be in a team. You know what I'm saying? So I was always searching for a team, and I did have an experience with that with music, and then there was a fallout, and I always told myself like, damn, if I would have just put in time with just me, you know what I'm saying? Because there was times where like, you know, I would literally write songs like every night, and it would be to the point that my peoples would be like, damn, bro, like we going to the club, bro, you not gonna go with us? And I was like, nah, I'm writing. I used to be that. They used to make fun of me for that. You know what I'm saying? But just I never knew like how important that was. You know what I'm saying? Just concentration. Like if I would have just kept going with that, not seeking no validation, I would be in a different position.
Yeah, man. And I mean, the best time to go back to that is now too. And I always like, this is one to shout out to my pops, bro. One thing my dad always told me was like, bro, if people find you like weird for something, or like they're making fun of you for some quality that you have, you're doing something right.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. I remember that.
So I mean, it takes a while. Like obviously you don't understand that when you're like a teenager or whatever, or like in your early 20s, but comes a point in time where like, damn, bro, I want more of that. Like keep clowning me, please.
Yeah.
Like, that just means I'm doing something right. So
I mean, at some point, it just doesn't even faze you.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter at that point, because your opinion of yourself, you hold that to higher regard than other people's opinion of you.
And that's tied into maturity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but nah, man, any last thoughts or messages you want to share to the fans and the audience and everybody watching?
Yeah, be ready for my new music. I honestly, one of the things that I try to, let people know, and I feel like I've already got flack for this, but I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I'm still building who I am, building who I want to be in the music industry. So I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna come up to people clean cut and act like I'm the shit, 'cause I'm not. But I am me. So I would just say, just for the advice, just work on yourself. Be your best self. Just try to be your best self every day.
I'm glad you said that, because that's more or less like the theme of this podcast, bro. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you coming on. Oh, goddamn.
Before we sign out, let people know where they can connect with you or listen to you, social media or YouTube, any type of music streaming platform. Where can the people find you?
Yes, sir. So I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. As far as my Instagram, is bullethead_Emp3ror. So BULLETH3 AD_EMP3ROR. That's for Instagram. YouTube, it is Emp3ror408, EMP3ROR408.
Yeah, man. Once again, bro, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
A one-time guest is always a future guest whenever you want to come on. So just let us know, bro. It's good to connect with you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. And on behalf of the 2 Coin Podcast, it's your boy Ronnie.
And I'm Waleed, the other side of the coin, and we are signing out.